Good afternoon. If you watched the World Cup in 2014, you were one of the 3.2 billion people who watched this tournament that took place 2 summers ago in Brazil. Me being from Brazil now, it's only fitting that I talk about the World Cup. So let's start off with some basic information, and then after I'll be following on with some history about this wonderful tournament that started 80 years ago. And lastly, I'll talk about why 2014 was such a remarkable tournament and everything that happened that year. So some basic info. The World Cup takes place every 4 years, and every team in the world has a chance to qualify, but only 32 teams do. They qualify because they play each other in their own region, and only a couple of teams from each region qualify. So after those 32 teams get put together, they get put in 8 different groups of 4, and each team plays each other once. If you win, you get 3 points. If you tie, you get 1 point, and if you lose, you don't get any points. The 2 top teams with the highest points qualify for the knockout stage, and that's when things start to get interesting. After the knockout stage, they start off with the round 16. If you win the round 16, you advance to the quarterfinal, semifinal, and then comes the World Cup final, which is the biggest and the most watched sporting event in the world. It beats the Super Bowl by a lot of viewers. After I got some basic info, I'll give you some background history of this tournament. Brazil is the best team to ever play this tournament. They have 5 stars above their crest, standing for the 5 World Cups they have won. This is one of my favorite stories. Pelé watched the World Cup. Pelé is the best player of all time. He watched the World Cup with his dad in 1950. That's when Brazil lost 1-0 to Uruguay. And when Brazil lost, his dad was very sad. His dad was crying in tears. And Pelé went up to his dad, and Pelé was 14 at the time, I believe. He went up to his dad and said, "Dad, don't worry, I'm going to win your World Cup." Pelé went on to win 3 World Cups after that and made his dad proud, and that's one of the reasons why he played so hard during those World Cups. The first ever World Cup took place in Uruguay in 1932, and Uruguay was the team that won the World Cup, and they were the host team that year too. The following World Cup took place in Italy, and Italy won the World Cup. So it goes to show how the host team has a big advantage when it comes to the World Cups. So after some history, I'm talking about 2014. 2014 was hosted in Brazil, and Brazil had the advantage, but they didn't come up with the victories that they needed. Brazil, if you guys remember the World Cup, you remember the 7-1 loss Brazil took Germany that year. It was sad. All the Brazilians, if you walk around the street, during that time they were sad, they were crying. If you look around the stadium, everybody was sad. That game was very big, it was very historic. That was the most goals ever scored in a semifinal in history. That was also the most goals that Brazil ever conceded in any tournament, ever. That's crazy to think about a semifinal, such a big game. They should have prepared for this game. They should have had more thought. They did have some disadvantages. 2 of their players were hurt, and one of them was suspended, and they were just not going the right direction, but they should have put a better fight than 7-1. That was the first time that any European team won a World Cup in South America. That's huge. That just shows that how tough it is to play in South America, and Europe has great teams like Italy, France, and Germany, but they have never won a World Cup in South America. Klose became the top scorer of World Cup history with 16 goals. He passed Ronaldo Lima that year. Ronaldo Lima has been one of the best players to play, also Brazilian. He had 15 goals, and Klose beat him that year. And that was the first time that goal line technology was used in the game. Goal line technology is basically, there's a sensor at the goal line, and it tells the referee if the ball went in or not. That was the first time they adapted the game. It tells them on their watch. So basically, when the ball's crossed, they get a buzzer on their watch that says goal or no goal. In 2010 World Cup, there was an incident where Steven Gerrard from England took a shot off the post, hit the ground, passed the line, and went in, and then came back out. And it was ruled no goal, and that cost him that game that year. So it's big to have this in the tournament now. Not to wrap things up, after informing you guys a bunch of different things about the World Cup, about the history, the basic info in 2014, to conclude, the next World Cup will take place in 2018 in Russia. And the 2022 World Cup is the following one, and they're still debating where to do it. There's some stories about the Middle East, but they're having some discussion over that. In conclusion, Brazil has been the best team to play. Even though 2014 wasn't the year, they have been the best team historically to play in any World Cup. And 2014 was just a remarkable World Cup, and I hope you guys watched it. Thank you.
Cool.